in the booth at the Rio All Suites Hotel and Casino.
Three kids from Long Island.
Really? You were born on Long Island?
I was born in Queens, but grew up on Long Island.
That counts to me.
Actually,
of course that counts.
And in fact, my father used to play gin against Scott Stever's grandfather.
This is correct.
Wow.
This is the small world we live in right here.
Oh, that is awesome. Now I feel even more at home. This is great. Wow. I knew I liked you guys for a reason. Now I know for sure why. How well do you know of Bill Klein and his game?
I've played a decent bit with Bill, but it's always fairly sporadic in so much as, like, I've played maybe one tournament a year with him for the past, 5 years now.
Right. Usually, I would imagine probably during the World Series time.
Yes,
I think that's wherever I always see him.
Yeah.
How dangerous is it when you only play one tournament a year with a guy to assume that he still plays the same way he did last year?
Extremely, and it's so easy to fall into a mindset of seeing a person and thinking, oh, I see them, that means this, this, and that, and then it being that you're just completely wrong.
Well, pretty good flop if you're Klein.
Fantastic flop for Bill.
Not much for Helmuth.
So that's 350,000.
Helmuth bets 350,000.
He'll take in like a little jab probe bet here. I don't think Phil would try this against many of the other players.
I agree. I think he sees a paired flop, though, and thinks that Bill might be scared of it if he doesn't have something, and just goes for a very small amount.
Helmuth picks up an 8.
Phil's going to think he has the best hand here a lot of the time, and this is going to get him in trouble. I expect him to bet again.
But I think if Bill raises here, I think he might lose Phil. But if he calls, he's probably going to make one more bet on the end.
What's the play if you're Klein?
I think it's a call, but
I think you should call here a lot, but honestly, both are pretty great options.
Nice. I like
but
the call.
I'm impressed that he called here. Oh my God. That's it right there then.
That is a great river card.
Phil might bet very small now, though, even though I think he should really try and drop a hammer.
600. That's pretty small. Fifth of the pot.
I'm just waiting for Helmuth's reaction when Klein raises.
Well, I can't foresee Phil calling a raise here, because what in the world does Bill Klein have that raises, calls, and then raises on this river?
Honestly, there's some chance that Phil is going to convince himself that Bill just has flush draw because their heart's on the flop. And it could be the thought that he says, oh, I'm trying to make a flush. Oh, no, I didn't make a flush. I better raise to try and win.
Yeah.
And there's the raise.
It's very hard to put someone on quads.
That's true.
And all the other bigger overpairs, there's a chance maybe he would have played them differently, or that Phil would have picked up that Bill had a strong hand, such as, say, aces.
Right.
Helmuth bet 600,000. Klein raised to over 2 million, I believe. We'll get the exact number for you in a second.
2 million.
2 million exact.
Now, I think Phil's going to get away from this.
Not quite.
2,600,000.
2 million more.
Really?
2 million more, so 2.6 million. Okay.
Wow.
So it looked like it was more than 2.
It's an interesting sizing. I mean, Phil's getting a decent price to call here, but
it's getting 3 to 1.
Does he really win this a quarter of the time?
I don't think so, and I think Phil's going to know to get away from this here.
Yeah.
These chips are so valuable, and Phil especially loves stack preservation here.
Oh, for sure.
That what his stack will look like if he calls and loses here.
Yeah, he'll be in 5th.
That's how many, by the way, that's how many chips they have behind.
Oh, that's not what they started the hand with?
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, so, okay.
Yeah.
That makes a lot more sense. I thought he was going to have, 1 million or something. Okay. He would have, 3 if he calls. That's a very dangerous situation for him.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm sure he's feeling the pressure here, too. More than anyone else at the table. He's so hard on himself with his desire to win that...
I saw an interaction yesterday. It was the first time I'd really played sitting next to Phil, and I was in between Sorrel and Phil. And Phil lost a hand to Sorrel with King Jack or King 10 against King Queen on a King board like this, and Phil took it so hard. There were no cameras, no reporters. It wasn't a theater. I was kind of surprised at that.
It's real. He is so hard on himself.
He calls.
Wow.
Helmuth makes the call. Klein's going to show him
shocked.
quads. Let's see Phil's face.
6 of clubs.
I'd love to. I wish I could hear what he's saying right now.
King fucking 6, I believe. Sorry, I'm just repeating Phil. I'm just for the reporter.
We're going to have fun today. Well, yeah, we're already having fun.
But let's play poker.
I'm playing.
Big Papa cracks the whip a little bit. He says it's okay to talk, but let's play poker.
Raise it 2,400.
2,400.
Helmet raised at 2,400.
I'll get out of the way this time.
Jack of diamonds.
What is it?
24.
The Jack of Diamonds?
Yes, Jack of diamonds.
I exposed it?
No, my hand.
Oh, okay. I was like,
Freddie Deeb's in with the Queen 10 offsuit.
Call.
And Barry Greenstein calls it a 10-8 offsuit. So it's 3-handed to the flop.
the boys are gambling, Sean. Chips are flying.
Did you get enough back?
No, net worths are changing.
I'll get 5 more hundred.
No, I thought I got the right one back.
2 8s and a queen, so Greenstein's got trip 8s.
And Phil and Freddie have flopped queens. Everybody's got a hand, and naturally everybody checks.
Here's the turn, a deuce of hearts.
Yeah.
And Phil bets 1,500. Phil not only has a pair of queens now, he's got a king-high flush draw. And I think Phil's convinced he has the best hand.
I got 36 years to get good as you. Couldn't beat a name.
And Deeb raises to $4,000.
Now, Freddie Deeb thinks he has the best hand.
No, actually, could be. No, you could beat it.
But they are going to find out.
15,000.
15.
And they found out right then. And Phil did not like that.
Greenstein re-raises to $15,000.
What do we have left there, Barry?
God, I love poker.
38.
They all check the flop.
Well, Phil should be worried here. He bet, Freddie Deeb raised him, and then Barry came over the top of both of them. Phil has got to feel that one of these guys probably has an 8.
It's just not his hand, Barry.
So that's 15 to me, is that right? 15,000?
Yeah.
I call.
Helmuth calls. Now the action's to
There's
Deeb.
no way that Freddie Deeb can call this.
No kidding.
Wasn't talking to you, Freddie. Call if you want to.
You didn't worry about what I had? I made the original raise.
Come on, quit wasting our time, Freddie.
Wasting time. I'm not
He's got a
wasting
good
time.
hand.
Now, of course, Mr. Sunshine, Sean Cheeky, has something to say.
Tell me what you had, I'll leave you.
Threw an 8 away.
Rivers another
Yeah,
8.
you would have made nuts.
I would have made 4 8s.
Barry looks like he's wondering if Freddie Deeb really had an 8. Actually, 8 was a great card for Barry because it might make Phil call here.
Greenstein bets 35 grand.
Phil should realize here it's very unlikely that Barry has a lone queen. Ace queen or like him king queen. Barry would not come over the top on the turn after Phil bet and Freddie Deeb raised if he just had a queen. It's more likely Barry has kings, aces, or
I'm gonna fold this.
4
Give me
eights.
1 second here.
Phil just said he doesn't think he can fold this. He's talking himself into calling. Maybe he's putting Barry on the nut flush draw, the ace of hearts and another heart and absolutely nothing, just a bluff.
Supposed to love it.
He calls.
Helmuth calls, and Greenstein shows him the missing 8. Barry Greenstein takes down a huge pot with over $150,000.
Phil's real chance to escape that hand was on the turn. I'm sure if that deuce was not the deuce of hearts, Phil would have got away from that hand right then.
This could be the beginning of Barry Greenstein's comeback.
down to
and the
2
poker
queens,
brat,
big
Phil
hand.
Hellmuth.
On the button, it's a glorious time to get these big
I-
hands because
I'll get that.
people don't believe you there.
Well, this could do it for Roble.
He's got sloppy chips. He's on tilt. This could be ugly.
Oh, he's definitely going to raise. I mean, how can you not raise?
He's going to get ping ponged here by by Team Great Britain.
Yeah, as you said.
First trick it bluffs him, then Lewis stuffs him.
That was good.
He just calls here.
That's
that's a little shocking.
That's
I would have
Sure.
raised. I would have raised. It's funny. I would have raised and folded to a re-raise. That's the sick thing.
Now Timoshenko's going to come in this pot
For
with
sure.
2 deuces. He's getting the right price to come into it.
I mean, it's possible
It's an easy hand to play. You flop a deuce,
Yeah.
or you don't invest any more money. Just that simple.
got to be impressed by Roble just calling there. It's almost like he said to himself,
I'm not
they know
gonna-
I'm on tilt. So
Right.
I think the pot's going to be big. I just have that feeling.
All three players have pairs. That's something you don't see very often. Pre-flop.
Button in the blinds.
Oh! It's come
Quads,
queen,
full
queen,
house.
nine.
Oh my God!
Goodbye, Andrew Roble.
Wow.
Nice having you here, but
0%.
It's such a hard place to
Some
be drawing
days-
It's
ahead
so
from,
hard
isn't
to
it?
flop a full house and be 0%. It's really, really
Wow.
hard. They're both trying to figure out how can I get all the money in. And by the way, Lewis is thinking he has to be bluffing, right? Because when you have quads, you have all cards locked up.
Roble leads right out and bets a full house.
Playing it like...
Well, that's something I would never do in this spot to a pre-flop raiser. I'd let him take one stab to bluff at it. Now, obviously, Lewis is thinking he's died and gone to heaven here or something. He just can't believe
But he's
what's
also
happening.
thining it's got to be a bluff or an ace-9. It just... So
You're
he's
just going to call. You're never
yeah,
going to
he's
raise.
never going to
this
raise.
spot.
He's never raising this. I mean, it would just be a horrible play.
Until he's last man, last action, probably before he's going to get any bets in this pot.
Yep. And
He's
look
just
at it.
gonna Continue to throw the rope.
These guys are just incredible.
Well,
I mean,
well,
he's
that just
done
shows
that
you.
so it doesn't look. I mean, what are they
he
thinking?
raised?
Yeah, why do you raise there?
Well, he's raised here.
I think this is a bad play, but amazingly, it's going to be the perfect play because you get all the money in now. Because
Well, Phil, I mean, isn't it that he's raised here because he's reckoned that Roble will never put him on a strong hand if he does? I mean, it's that.
No, the
sort
point
of
is,
level.
looks like an ace
raising
queen.
here, you shut the guy out of a straight draw in case he had a jack 10. It
you
makes
know
no
he
sense
can't,
to me. He
it's-
doesn't have a queen.
It's wrong. It just has to be wrong. You can't let the guy bluff anymore because he can't have it.
He's got the only hand he's going to continue to play.
He's just getting very lucky that the guy. Yeah.
He's got the only hand he's going to continue to play. Nine's full. Roble is just very happy.
Yep.
That the guy's raised him.
But he's going to probably call because in the end you think if he has a queen he'll bet the turn, no problem. So he's just going to call.
I got to tell
Am
you.
I right? He just called. Yeah. In the end, because it's too big a hand. I think Roble's played it right.
Both players are liable to not even get all their chips in there. They're going to try to out-slow play each other from here out.
Mike, that would be.
This is unbelievable.
That would be amazing.
Wouldn't shock
it?
me if it goes check, check on the turn.
Well, I think what's clear is that both these players actually think the other guy has nothing. And
Kind
they're
of.
trying to.
Right.
That's their positive. I mean, is it
Robles is hoping that Lewis has a queen. That's what he's hoping for,
Right.
but he doesn't feel it in his bones yet. So he's
because there is a level here among these young guys on that paired board to the raise that Robles trying to represent a lead with air, and Lewis is trying to represent the pre-flop raiser raising him with air.
Yep. And I think given the way the hand's gone, Toby has to fire like 50 or something right here.
Well, I just can't believe he's betting this hand. In case your opponent's got a straight draw, why would you
Wow,
want to shut him out?
Robles is thinking Christmas time, but it's not Christmas time. It's coal in the stockings time. I stole a phrase out of your book. That was you, Jesse. That was you. I can't.
Roble obviously trying to decide. The bet's 60. Do you go all in? Do you raise? Do you just check and lead the river? What's the best way? What does he think Lewis has here? What would Lewis play like this? Obviously, a queen.
I'm in shock he
maybe.
raised him on the flop. I mean, that's the first thing. I would have never thought the guy's going to make a
on
call
the flop. That was,
with
I think,
any
horrible.
hand. Looked like a horrible play.
In hindsight, these will be the worst 7 minutes he spent on his trip to London when he got out-flopped by quads.
He'll be looking at on the airplane ride home in his mind too.
Oh boy. Toby, on the other hand,
Still just flat calling.
Well, they're just calling here
because he's thinking my opponent might be bluffing.
that's what it has to be. That's what it has to be.
The only thing would make it worse if a 9 comes up on the river.
Right.
Oh, my God.
That was sick.
Can you believe this?
Oh, my Lord. That
Quads
is so
over quads.
sick. I can't believe that.
It's kind of unfair.
Oh, my Lord. So now he's like,
oh, my God.
He's like, wow, my opponent can't have queen 9. Hopefully he has queen 5,
Well, Toby must be thinking, geez, what can this guy have to be calling with all this way?
One thing we know for sure, just in case he checks it, he is going to get a wager.
I don't believe I've ever seen this before.
No, me either. This is a first for me. 10 years of cards.
Well, he's moved all in and quickly called and let Roble turn up his hand first. 4 9s against 4 queens. Look at Timoshenko's face.
Look at Toby Lewis.
Look at Timoshenko. Look at Timoshenko. Look at Timoshenko. Look at Timoshenko.
That might be the most weirdly played hand in history of poker. One of them, certainly.
Poor.
You know, the whole crowd is just completely shocked.
Andrew Roble has left the building. Timoshenko's never
That
seen
says it all right there. Timoshenko's face.
Well, in many casinos, that would be worth a 7-figure bad beat payout.
Oh, my Lord.
Well, he knows this guy re-raised him on the flop with 4 queens.
Yeah.
That is astonishing.
Yeah. That's why no one can put him on 4 queens.
Into his new table. He's concentrating on the poker, but he's not in the hand. In fact, there is a big hand developing between Justin Phillips and Motoyuki Mabuchi. Mabuchi made a bet after the river onto that scary board. Phillips now fires back with a raise.
Has Justin Phillips bet the shirt off his back?
Action on Mabuchi. He's all in.
All in call, table
Phillips
one.
turns over a royal flush.
Royal flush.
Mabuchi, quad aces.
You gotta be kidding me. Quad aces, your last hand of the main event.
What a way to hit the rail.
There's nothing more ultimate than that.
That is a statistical improbability, my friends.
What a horrible river card for your.
If you flop a set of aces, river quads, and lose, that's a bad beat.
And Mabuchi does stumble out of the main event.
Take a picture of that one, dude. Oh, that's good. That is just...
If this happened to Phil Hellmuth, the table would no longer be here.
Coming down the table, sit down, boom. 4 aces, royal flush. How many times are you going to see that?
The chances of a royal flush and quads happening in the same hand, 1 in 2.7 billion.
I like you.
Yeah, you got to give some love to the dealer.
I get a little credit too, right?
Yeah, you wouldn't have came here and none would have happened. You're the man. I love Raymer.
He loves Greg Raymer?
Everybody watch that show.
Greg Raymer has his own TV show?
Wow, you got a famous TV star at your table, beat quad aces with a royal flush? Welcome to the main event. And there's what they all came to play for. More than 600 players have already been eliminated. The chip average right now about 37,000.